got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through.
Welcome back, guys. Happy New Year. And I fudged that one up. Happy New Year. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Problems on Problems podcast. I'm your host, Mike Santi, and this week, it's a new year. New year, same bullshit. Maybe same bullshit? The idea that maybe if your resolution this year in 2021 was to find love, it's gonna be a little bit tough, because this week, we're talking about the roster. Disclosure, I do not... how do I phrase this? I don't condone the misuse of the roster, and you'll find out more about that later. But with that, let's just get into it. What is a roster? It's a method of dating, honestly, and it is exactly how it seems or how it sounds, because you thought The Bachelor or The Bachelorette was based off of what? Fiction is based off of real life. Your roster... For those that don't know, your roster is a list, rotation, a roster of anywhere from 2 to, based off of how promiscuous you may be, double-digit people that you are, I don't know, trying to date, you're seeing them on a regular basis. What's that seeing might be, I don't know, but it's usually something's romantic, something's intimate, something's going on between y'all, and that's why you're on the roster, and that's okay. That is for guys and girls too, by the way, mind you. We out here, we support equality, so guys can have rosters, girls can have rosters, everybody could get a roster. That being said, though, your roster, like any other sports team, it's compressed. It's made up of, you've got starters. And for those of you that don't know, your starters, those are, think of it as basketball. If you got it like that, if you got 5 starters for real, good on you, like good job, but also, geez, that sounds exhausting. But your starters are those people that you genuinely see something developing in a way. You see potential in them. They're your people that you see on a very regular basis. You probably see them more than anybody else on your roster. And it's because you like them. You like them, but you don't know if you date like them. That sounds so stupid. But you know what I mean. You don't know if you're committed to them yet. You also don't know if they're committed to you yet, which is why you have this whole thing of rosters going on. You take them out on dates, they've met your friends, all that jazz. You just haven't put the title on it yet, and that's okay. Somebody's fucking up in this relationship or in this friendship. It might be you, it might be them, but for all intents and purposes, you've got your starters. But then these are the people that I would say, honestly, these are like your wifeys, guys and girls, you know what I mean? That wifey material, the ones that you're like, oh, she bad, or he bad. I don't know what they say about guys. I don't know what they say about me either. Probably bad things. Those are the ones that you're trying to wife up, the ones that you're trying to date, put a label on and all that stuff. Those are definitely your starters on the roster. They've got it all. They've got the personality. They've got the looks. They've got, adjust your scale accordingly. But they've got a lot of what you want in a significant other, which leads you to think that there's a possibility that they could be a significant other. What's left of your roster? Because, okay, if you're young, you have way more than this. But the older you get, like your boy, I'm not trying to maintain multiple relationships. I don't got time for that. I don't have the energy for that. I don't know. No, thank you. But on every roster, you probably have... Not probably. You definitely have substitutes or bench warmers. These are the... I apologize in advance. These are your booty calls. I don't like the way I said that. These are your booty calls. I like that way better. But your booty calls are... honestly, your subs and bench warmers and all that stuff, like, you're only in it for the sex for the most part. They're doing, you keep them around for exactly what their namesake is, and that's to warm the bench. This is for when your starters, I feel so bad saying this. Listen, I'm exposing a lot of you right now, and good on you. Go for it. But these people are for when your starters are either busy, at a town, mad at you for some reason. You know the reason. It's probably self-inflicted, like you did this to yourself kind of thing. But these are the people that honestly put up with more of your bullshit than the other people do. And they offer some kind of, let's call it, they offer some kind of something, some kind of reward for your shitty behavior, which is why you keep them around. Plus, you might be a starter on their list, and there's a whole other paradigm kind of thing of like how people treat you is kind of, it's very telling of where you are on their roster, but I digress. Subs and bench warmers, you're never taking them out really in public, and if you are, it's not anywhere that you normally go to, places that you could risk running into your starters for. These people, very rarely do they leave your house, or do you leave their house. A lot of DoorDash, a lot of Postmates, a lot of deliveries and drive-thrus and takeout, things that would not require you to be seen in public with this person because you have no intention on dating them. Unless for some reason there's a glow up that I don't know about, you ain't dating a sub. And, actually, there's a different, there's a very different definition for substitute. Let's talk about that, because I don't need to bring in the heat from the sub community. But yes, substitutes and bench warmers, they're just straight up booty calls. Like, you more than likely will hit them up on a weekend. You'll hit them up, like I said, as a backup plan, but you're never going to be serious with them. And you know what? Shame on you for keeping a roster. Not keeping a roster. Shame on you for having substitutes. You should really just, not expressing my opinion yet. We're going to talk about that later. But yeah, ain't nobody ever going to date the sub. Well, somebody is. One man sub. One person sub is another person's starter. And in which case, stop wasting their time. Let them go do their thing. Unless you've already told them that you don't want to date. But like, let them move on. Let them find their starter. Okay? That being said, gosh, I mean, you're probably wondering why is there a roster? Honestly, because we ain't shit. And I say we ain't because I used to do this. I don't do this anymore. I'm a wholesome man. I don't care if you believe it or not, but you know, they're trust issues. That's really what it is. Trust issues and fear of vulnerability. I'm calling y'all out by name now. Not really, but you know what I mean. In the sense that if you have a roster, you are probably, 2008. 2008 taught us that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Yes, that was financially, but it carries on to the rest of life in the sense that some people don't like to risk putting all their feelings into one person only to be let down or rejected. It happens. There are times where like you think someone's your starter and they think you're a sub or a bench warmer, and that idea drives you crazy. You can't handle it. And so why be vulnerable when I can have backups? You know? Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's one of those instances, occasions, occurrences, mindsets that instead of possibly being vulnerable and open to rejection, you're just going to keep a couple on the side just so that you are okay and that you feel validated. Go see a therapist, okay? Fix that shit. It's really, it's toxic. But I say all that to say, most people that have rosters, they're probably out here, number one, they're in these streets. They're definitely not sidewalk people. You know me, I'm on the sidewalk, no roster. Street people, that sounded weird. Street people on the streets, y'all got rosters. Y'all got rosters full of just free agents because who knows who's going to get it next. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And so with that, for those of you that may be on a roster, if you're managing a roster, that's one thing. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But to know that you're on a roster, or how do you know that you're on a roster, is really, it's pretty evident. Like if you're the one constantly hitting someone up and how do I phrase this? If you're hitting someone up constantly and they are telling you that they're busy, that they're hanging out with a friend, the interval in which you see them, like if you're seeing them around the same time midweek or same time on the weekends, same time at night, if they're communicating during X, Y, and Z period of time and it's always consistently there, you might be on a roster. If this person goes ghost for a full day, an hour or two, that's not true. People communicate different things. If they go ghost based off of their regular communication, you might be on a roster. And honestly, if you find or if you see them out in public with somebody else, you're probably on a roster or they're cheating. And in which case, what the hell? We got to talk about that later. But yeah, those are ways to tell that you're on a roster. Now, with that, do whatever you want with that information. I'm not your parent. I'm not your guardian. I have no say in your mental health or physical health or emotional well-being or anything like that. Choose what you want to do. Me personally, let's do this first. Let's go to our great debate, which is obviously about this week's topic, the roster. And do you think, or is there an advantage to the roster? That's what I mean. Is there an advantage to the roster? I personally think so, but there's a nuance to it, and that's coming from someone who doesn't have a roster. But I think a roster, there's merit to it. It's efficient. It's like any other. Ooh, you're talking about love, so you can't just say like it's like any other thing. But honestly, it is. It's like any other selection process in the sense that the more people you have going through a selection process at the same time, the number one, more practice you get. Oh gosh, that sounds awful. Listen, people, don't ruin this. Don't twist this in the sense that if you've got more people going through a process, chances are you'll get better at filtering people out, but you'll also be able to put into practice things that you're working on with yourself, with other people. So yeah, honestly, I think the roster might be like the way to go if you can maintain it, because what quickly happens in any roster is that if you don't know how to manage it, it's going to get out of hand quickly. And like I said, I don't have the energy or the time or patience to be dealing with so many people, so many life stories and things you got to remember, things you want to remember, things you remember. It is tough keeping up with that many people. I genuinely think there's a place for it in the sense that that's the best way to put it. If you are transparent, you're honest, you're communicating, you're doing all that jazz, you're talking to people, you're being upfront, then there should be not a lot of drama to a roster, in the sense that people that are on your roster know that they know where they stand with you. And honestly, you always give people the option, not always, but you're giving people the option of, hey, do you want to be another spot on the roster, or do you want to manage the roster? Do you want to like make the roster go away, or do you want to be a part of it? Because those are really the only two options on a roster. You're either getting rid of it or you're a part of it. Or option C, you have no part of it, and in which case, cool, bye. In sync right there. Great. Copyright me. But yes, so I personally think there's an advantage to a roster. I also think there's a really fast way to make it all blow up in a blaze of awkwardness and drama. So life lesson, communicate, be honest, be transparent, let people know if they're on a roster. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is there an advantage to a roster? And with that, this is such an awful transition.
P.O.P.
I am sorry, guys. I apologize again for the transition, because people, The next people that we have for our Friday follows are two ladies killing the game, not about rosters, but when it comes to food and life in Charlotte. So, ladies doing bits this week on the Friday follows. First up, we got Wyneesworld. I can't begin to say enough cool things about her. This woman by far is probably one of the coolest foodies in Charlotte, and I don't even want to like box her into being a foodie or anything like that. Her bio says it all. She eats, she travels, she writes, and it is fantastic. Like, if you haven't seen her TikToks, like, go follow her there. Go follow her on Instagram at Wyneesworld. I'll put all that stuff in the description. But she is out here blowing stuff up. There's not a time or a project that I see her on that isn't amazing. I mean, listen, I will follow. If you tell me where to eat, I'm going to go eat because I trust you. And if you pair it with good quality film or photos, then I'm about it. So make sure you go follow Winnie. And the next lady that is killing the game, especially in Charlotte, is WhereToEatCharlotte. Miranda is killing the game when it comes to putting places on the map regarding food, drinks, cocktails, services. Honestly, at this point in time, girls doing bits when it comes to big Charlotte influencing. Props to her. Also manages social media accounts for other restaurants. So restaurants, thank her for her work. She is killing the game, doing bits. Make sure you go follow her at WhereToEatCharlotte. You can also follow her personal page. It's in the bio. I'm not going to like do all the work for you, but yes, make sure you guys go follow these women because they are killing the game, doing bits when it comes to food, beverages, lifestyle, especially in the Charlotte area. But with that, guys, I have no idea what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, there's no Just the Sip segment this week because do you know how difficult it is to buy wine when you don't like wine and you only drink it away? So that being said, friends of Mike, if you know where I live, if you have my number, just know that when I start doing episodes of Just the Sip, there is going to be, basically one pours. That's what I would call it, in the sense that I'm going to have copious amounts of wine bottles that I'm not going to drink. So if you want the wine bottles, let me know. Holy sh! Yeah, but let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Do them things that let you know that your boy's posting. Follow us at Problems on Problems Podcast on Instagram, at Problems_pod on Twitter, and follow your boy Mike Santi 18 on all social media. And like I always say, guys, if it's not a good time, hope it's a good story, and I will see you next week.
It's a